What's up everyone, Speedy here. In this 1v1 video, we're going to be doing 2 live games as well as 1 replay review. So let's get right into it. Okay, so here we are in game number 1. When they kick off pretty handily, so that's okay. Good bump. Nice. Play that fast. Nice. Play off the opponent's awkwardness. It was important that I early child that to not give him that like respect in that space, especially knowing he was trying to play it slow. That's okay. That was something. Really good kickoff though. Played that kickoff perfectly on the setup though. Dude, that is how you outplay somebody. You start going that way and you immediately fake. They're not ready for that, and that commitment, once they flip, you have to be super careful about that. It's gonna win that kickoff. I accidentally pushed it a little bit too much to the side. Not too worried, because the opponent's gonna mess up the play. Just go grab pads. Dude, I'm just forcing the opponent to make mistakes and have to commit, and it's working. It's just working. I see he's going to go, so I place for the soft 50. That goes on Durham. I place this a little differently. There we go. I'm able to get this pad. I just... boom. Just like that. Just like that. Get the early outplay. He's not expecting me to go there because I wasn't going at other plays. When you change it up, it makes it harder for the opponent to get a read. Close the space. That's why you don't want to flip. So the mistake I made is flipping there. He misses. That's... okay. We both fucked that up, but I fucked it up even worse. Shouldn't have gotten squid on there. I mistimed that, but oh good. Still got a good lead. Just need to kind of work on building it further. How much I could do there. So let's see what I did incorrectly and kind of learn from it. So I'm there on the left and I'm flipping right. He's flipping the correct direction for it, and I'm flipping the wrong way. Play this fast. Not too worried. Just gonna go for a pop. He wants that boost. I can do the outplays too, but by getting that flick there, that's what messes him up, because he's not expecting that last touch. It just take time. I mean, you have the possession. When you have possession, you control the play. If your opponent's just going to come to you, recognize that you have the ability to control the 50-50 in the position and the setup, and you have the ability to force them to make the mistake to come to you like that. Play through those mistakes and be aware of that, and try to force more of those mistakes on your opponents, and the more you'll see these opportunities come up. Now beware, same thing goes to you. You will make these mistakes too. Recognize, like, the mistakes I made, recognize when they happen, why they're happening. Try to correct them early, because when you do learn, you get an execute, that works. When you do learn, you do improve. You don't have to necessarily win to improve. Actually, I messed up the whole placement there of that play. He's gonna shoot it. Yep. That whole play I fucked up. Once I lost possession, that whole play was pretty bad. Honestly, really poor. So recognize that's why I lost it. It's because of the way I didn't set up the interaction. Couldn't get there back in time. Does a good job of placing. It's actually insane that works. Like, I see how far he was from the actual bump itself. Yeah, like, I was nowhere near that, but I mean, fair enough. Threw the late kick off on him. Well done. The fact that works is fucking ridiculous, dude. That it bumps me is absurd. Yeah, he comes off the landing and bumps me is okay. Plays for 50. How am I going there, bro? Yeah, this guy definitely is on the underranked side. Definitely tell by his movement he's underranked. Oh, good though. Not all that far behind. Just need to force him to make his mistakes from over emphasizing bumps. Try to force mistakes. Can't commit there, it's just 0% play. control touch. I have to play such a disciplined style with this guy. It's hilarious, bro. Really stupid play. And that only worked because he overextended. I messed up my play earlier and he overextended as a result. This fucking kid's insane. And of course I fucking shoot it to him, bro. Fuck off. That's just, it's so stupid. I shoot it of all places to him. Whatever. Side flip. Let's go! Let's go, dude. Okay, here we are in the replay portion of the video. And I'm not gonna lie, today's recording was probably one of the sweatiest recordings I've played. Because holy moly, this game here was a doozy. This was like, if you thought like the 6 to 5 like 0-second goal was crazy, like this guy was another person who was definitely a tough opponent. This guy was running like a season 6 grand champion tag, so definitely not an easy opponent. You know, no slouch, no pushover. This guy was definitely decent. He was more well-rounded in his playstyle. I felt like his aerial plays, you're probably going to see like his overall aerial play, it was okay, but it wasn't like super scary. You know, it was easy for me to read. And he wasn't really getting like resets, so it wasn't like it was adding like a layer of difficulty. Most of what he was going for was just more like fast aerial, semi, almost like air dribble type plays. He goes for kind of a crazy play here. I'm covering for that. That's why we both miss here. This play is a little awkward though, so I'm trying to like keep the ball close, but I do get scored on in a little bit here because I make a mistake on a specific play coming up here. So like here, I overcommit myself positioning, and I make myself awkward because I remember in the moment when I got scored on here, I said to myself after getting scored on, I just played this too wide. I gave him way too much space. As you're going to see, like here, I basically just kind of like fucked off. And look at how much I just opened the gap up. He did the correct thing. So this is something that like with game sense you learn. When your opponent makes this kind of like large gap occur, what you do as the attacker is you play smart and you play slow. You don't have to flick it into him because that's what I would want. I overextend here because I'm pushing my momentum more towards the corner side than I am more towards the ball side, and that's what causes this to go in the way it did. So There's a few mistakes that led to this play kind of happening the way it did, but that's why it happened. Those are things you just want to be careful about. You want to be careful about extending and opening up too much space because that makes it easy for your opponent. I checked my camera there just in case the opponent was going to challenge there. So something I was doing a lot this video, and I did in this game a lot, as you're going to see, is I was very patient about not crossing over or trying to shoot if the opponent was staying front post. So you see how he's waiting. I'm just not going. And then boom, I get the outplay. Am I able to follow it up with the shot? No, that's not ideal, but it's still fine. Still is a good 50. I just have to be careful. If I tried to shoot it, it would have been for two things. One, it would have been a really weak shot because there's just not enough position and momentum to actually like provide power for that. And it also would have wasted a lot of boost. So here I opt to go for the slight flick play. I didn't get the flick I wanted, but I do get a bump here, which is good. That relieves some of that goal line pressure and allows me to kind of get myself set up again. But here, once again, just taking time. Just waiting. I play a cross because he's going to go backwards here. I don't get a good 50 though, unfortunately. I kind of played this 50 poorly. I knew he was going for this, but I didn't set up well. Opponent gets greedy for the 50 here, and then what I do here is I double jump to try to get up early. It was an awkward angle, but I jumped early so that way I could try to get up to the ball. So I was almost like at the same elevation of the ball, and that's what's going to try to get it more of that horizontal cut. Here I do a good job of just putting pressure. I don't really mind that I'm low boost. Just putting a flick, even if it's not a great flick, just trying to put flick pressure on target just makes the opponent a little more awkward. I knew the opponent was going to go for a bump there, so that's fine. I try to land here for this boost here, and immediately I'm trying to put pressure. So just trying to be present in the play. I knew this was going to bounce, so I waited. So I waited here. I was like, okay, this is going to be awkward. Opponent does a good job of getting the catch, but again, I'm watching for this because I go down here and I wait, and I'm like, okay, now I'm like covering for a potential cut, and I see that he gets the potential cut play, and that's what he does when he lands, is that he tries to go for that shot. Here, I'm just kind of playing patient on a front post, kind of like something you sometimes will see pros do is they will hang up on like these goals, and they'll do that because they're trying to stay like hidden out of vision, and that's for both the practicality of just like it's harder to see. The second part of it is it's difficult for the opponent to be able to cover, because what you can do if you're the defender here is you can just simply come off wall here without jumping, come off wall, and you'll actually have a free jump, and you can time that jump anytime you want. So it's a bit of a trick there. It's not something you do if you're newer to the game or learning. You only do it when you already understand like your car well and you've learned enough to be able to start moving around in a more advanced way. This is an advanced type of, or at minimum intermediate type of play where you would come off the wall or come off of this actual post here without jumping to be able to play for that. That's only if the opponent is actually challenging towards the front post. If they're challenging away like this guy is here, this is a pretty poor challenge, as you're going to see here. The opponent does get his control again, but the way the control happens, I was expecting him to cut with that. That's why I was challenging for the cut, and he only plays across. So he does a good thing. Like, again, as like another dude is in that Grand Champ level, like he doesn't really get like resets this game though. So that's why I early challenged this guy. Is like just wasn't really getting resets or doing anything that was like overly threatening, but he was getting good control plays with the ball on his catches. Like I go for the bump here because he just wasn't really doing anything practical here. It's just kind of sitting here. I don't know what he was looking at, what he was paying attention to, but he wasn't paying attention, if anything, at all. And I just take it back to the corner. That's the safe thing you want to do. Just check your mirrors, you know, make sure you're in a good spot. Gently bring the ball up. Opponent gets over aggressive here. I actually could have shot this, but it was kind of awkward angle. I try to go for the control touch into the shot. It does give the opponent enough time to get back, so that's fine. Opponent actually had an open net. That's all good. Just have to be a bit more careful the way I position. Really, the way you want to improve your positioning is you want to follow through with the actual direction here. So like instead of like coming up backwards, just simply use the momentum. So what's a perfect spot here? So like here, instead of like turning this way and being backwards, just follow through with the direction. You know, you can even be in a position to grab this boost, and now the opponent isn't going to have boost they're going to have load boost potentially, and you're going to have full boost. And you see how like out of recovery I was. If the opponent simply just saw that I was awkward and just, even though I was going to half flip here, if they just saw that and immediately went for like control touch into a shot, I wouldn't have been able to recover in time, and it would have been a goal for the opponent. So it's an awareness mistake from the opponent. Here, just controlling the ball, getting the play where I want. Here, just trying to stay present. I don't really care that I'm low boost. It's not really concerning me. Here, just putting pressure on the play, making it to where the opponent's not going to get a lot of time to get like easy control. Here, just trying to play aware. And here's a great example of how I get the cut play. Again, with the cut plays, right? So the cut plays work, and they work because you're forcing the opponent to make a challenge here when it's awkward for them. What you want to be doing is exactly this. You're waiting, 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 and you know that they have to cover for a potential shot play, so that's why you cut. You do a power slide cut, and you do a hard, firm cut here, and that's what makes that work. If you want to learn how to do these effectively, Flakes has a fantastic guide on doing this, and it's all about recognizing the threat. So here, and you see how I switch automatically from ball cam to player cam, or free cam rather. That is something you kind of do automatically. You're doing that because it allows you to kind of get visual control of like where you are in relation to the space of the ball. And it makes things just a little bit easier for me, as I find. That's something Flakes also did, and most people typically that I've seen will do that. They can get a lot better visual control of like where they are. And what I mean by visual control is that it's easier for you, like say if you're staying in ball cam, say this is like the ball here, and you're focused on this. When you're trying to cut around this, what happens is you're cutting around this while you're also still focused on the ball. So sometimes we get a problem that's called target fixation, and by going into free cam, we break that target fixation. So in the case of the ball here, if you're staying along the side and you're trying to cut, you're also cutting while you're still going like this. So you're visually looking at it, and you're actually sometimes going to like come into the problem with that fixation of cutting more than you need to. And sometimes that can actually lead you to not getting momentum with the play, because if too much of a cut, there is such thing as too much of a power slide cut. Say the opponent's coming at you like this, right? They're coming at you from this angle. If you just cut like all the way over here, now you have no momentum to be able to get the play forward. But if you cut, instead of towards the goal, if you cut towards their corner, so you cut here, boom, you cut here, opponent goes to the side, they're overcommitted, and now you have time and placement and position and momentum to be actually able to get control of the ball and then make the touch towards the net. That's why this play worked the way it did. So watch it back one more time and just pay attention to the cut. So this cut here is not towards the goal. You see how it's to the corner? That's the reason why this works. It's to the corner. It's a pretty awkward angle here, but if I simply like very heavily power slide cut it way more than that, I wouldn't have had any angle at all, and this would have been even lower probability of being able to go in. So just these are things you want to be aware of. This is how you can improve your ground game. Again, these are definitely very sweaty games. I do a good job of recognizing this is going to be a very bouncy ball. So just trying to place for the 50. Could have technically gotten some kind of shot play if the opponent wasn't 50ing it, but that's fine. And here, I just immediately, in my mind, I was like, okay, well, opponent's going to be aggro here. Watch for the aggressive play. And just kind of be in a good spot. I could tell the opponent wasn't in a really great spot to be able to get the control they wanted. That's fine. I'm not too worried. The ball was very high here. So my goal here and objective here was just get a good clear ball. And the big mistake I could have made here was going for that mid boost. Now, I want you to pause this video and I want you to ask yourself why. Why would it be a mistake or an inaccuracy, if you want to be more technical, an inaccuracy to go for that boost there, that boost right over here? And there's a very simple reason, but it's often ignored in a lot of the medium to lower ranks. And it's something called pressure by presence. So if you're new to this channel, you've probably seen some examples where I talk about this, as well as some of our community members have discussed this. And it's a concept where essentially by being closer to the play and being physically around this play here, whether it's bouncing or not, but pay attention to the fact that I closed the space in a way, now the opponent has to respect that, and I'm able to place myself in a way that's dangerous for the opponent. So watch it from my perspective, and I'm going to show you the opponent's perspective. So here, get the clear play. Momentum's naturally bringing me that way, yes, but I unfortunately do miss that boost pad there, that little boost pad. By staying in this play, getting a slight cut here. Ideally, what my goal in this moment was, I wanted that power slide cut to hit off the corner so I could go for a shot. It didn't work out, but still, it's just pressure, right? And that's what you want. So I'm going to show it from the opponent's perspective. I'm going to show you why this is so scary. Look at the amount of time the opponent went and used free cam to look at the boost, but now you saw immediately how close I was. Can you see that if I went for that mid boost all the way to the far right of the screen there, so this mid boost all the way over here, how much further from the play I would have been? Guess what? I would not have won this interaction here. And if I didn't win this interaction, that would have put me in a risky spot, especially if I'm committing, and that would have been really, like, not good. So by being present, you're making it harder for the opponent to have the space to be able to make the plays they want. These are things you want to do. Here, I backed off. There's a specific reason why, is because I saw the way the opponent was over accelerating through the play. They were trying to flick here, but I can see they were doing like a speed flick, and that can be really dangerous as a defender, because if your opponent positions well, they can follow through with an instant bump, and that is very dangerous. So I go wide here because I'm trying to play for that potential play here, just trying to play this fast. Do get a good 50. Unfortunately missed, but still, of course, it goes in. But it's just, again, it's being present in the play, and that's what really matters the most in these situations. If you want to be able to go against better players like GCs and SSLs, you need to learn how to understand space, and you need to understand that space incredibly well against the better players. The better the opponent, the more important that understanding of space that you have, the better it needs to be in order to actually, like, legitimately have a better opportunity or chance at winning. And that's how you win these games, and that's how you win a lot of these interactions. The more interactions you win, the more situations you place yourself, like for example, like here, not a lot of time left in the game, 3 seconds, just go for the 50. The ball's going to bounce in a place where it's not going to be really easy for the opponent to control, and there's no time in the game anyways, but you're trying to force worse and worse scenarios for your opponent. And by doing that, you become very suffocating, very, very suffocating as a player, because in 1v1s, if you learn how to play this way and you learn how to be very effective, you can make so many people just create, like, you can create so much chaos for your opponents, because you can just simply be in full control of how you're playing, and you're forcing them to play to how you're playing. And by doing that, now they're playing in an uncomfortable way. Now they're playing outside of what they're used to, and that's chaotic. And by doing that, you create opportunities. By creating opportunities, you can potentially create goals, and then you can create wins and winning interactions. And that being said, if you want me to review your replays, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and make sure to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Speed D Man out.